China says 3 deaths have been linked to the current COVID-19 outbreak in Shanghai. The City Health Commission said the victims were between 89 and 91 years old, had underlying health conditions, and were unvaccinated. Authorities say that these are the first COVID-related deaths in the city since 2020, but those claims are being met with skepticism from some in the international community. For more on this, let's bring in Eva Dou. She is the Washington Post China business and economy correspondent and is currently in the Chinese city of Nanjing. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me here.
So some experts say that China is attributing these underlying health conditions to COVID deaths. What are you learning about that?
Yeah, well, what we've seen in Shanghai is a remarkably small number of official confirmed deaths, and there have been a larger number of unconfirmed deaths that have been reported on the internet, and so so it could very well be that some of these deaths are being attributed to underlying conditions.
You know, Eva, it's been really interesting to see some of the social media posts that have been coming out reportedly from Shanghai. There have been reports as well of people in Shanghai clashing with police after being forced to surrender their homes for quarantine facilities. What is that situation like right now in Shanghai?
Yeah, it's still, a lot of the city is still under lockdown, and many people have reached sort of a breaking point after weeks of difficulties obtaining food. A problem now is that infections are continuing to be found after 3 weeks and counting of lockdown, which means somewhere some of the lockdowns haven't been working if people are still being infected when they're all supposedly staying in their homes. So that's something that's quite concerning to people.
And can you describe the conditions in these mass quarantine centers?
Yeah, well, they are pretty bare bones from the reports that we've had from people who've been through them. It's like a convention center or other large space that's been converted into sort of a field hospital. You have like metal beds. There, you definitely won't have a private room. There's a limited number of toilets. There are not showers, so you have to do sponge baths. And so it's not conditions that people want to be in, and so people have been pretty afraid to contract COVID.
You know, I'm curious as well about your own experience, Eva. You're currently in the city of Nanjing. How long were you in quarantine for? And tell us about your journey to actually get there.
Yeah, so the quarantine I went through was quite different than the one I just described for people who test positive for COVID. So for me, I went through entry quarantine, which was quite a bit nicer. It was in a hotel for 2 weeks. And so you had your own hotel room. You weren't allowed to leave the room. And they delivered food 3 times a day and came by regularly for testing. And so after 2 weeks, I left Shanghai for Nanjing, which is a little more inland. And because I was coming from Shanghai, immediately went into quarantine again and was in quarantine in Nanjing for 2 weeks. And today, actually, just got out of quarantine after 4 weeks.
Wow,
That's incredible.
That is incredible, and you're not the only one. I mean, I've seen reports of other journalists that I don't know if this was the case in Nanjing, but that had little, I don't know, it's like a sticker that they put outside your door, and if you break that seal, that would be an indicator to the authorities that you had actually attempted to leave your home, and there would be severe consequences. What would be the consequences for somebody like yourself who's an expat?
Well, I guess we haven't really seen many cases of expats being punished for breaking these rules, but they have publicized regularly cases of Chinese rule breakers being punished, and they publicize these punishments to try to prevent other people from breaking the rules. And so you actually see people going to jail and paying hefty fines for breaking the COVID prevention rules.
And Eva, just really quickly, I also saw some reporting that people were in Shanghai. They were opening up their windows at night
Yes.
and screaming. And oftentimes you heard people saying that they didn't have any food. What was the situation like to get food into people's homes if they weren't able to go to the supermarket or weren't able to even order food to be delivered?
Yeah, and I think food insecurity is a very scary thing when you don't know just if your food supply is going to hold and you're going to continue to be able to get food. And so that really pushed people to a very nerve-wracking state when they saw their food supplies running low, and it just was very difficult to order food, and in parts of Shanghai remains so, just because, Shanghai, like any city, is not built for deliveries for 25 million people at a time, all stuck in their homes, their food relying solely on these deliveries at a time when many of the roads are shut down. And so, stuck in their homes, people were opening their windows at night and everyone just screaming at the same time, sort of as a show of protest.
Wow.
Yeah, it really underscores the desperation clearly being felt by people in that city. Eva Doe, Eva, thank you very much for sharing your reporting and insight with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.